The passport hit the floor before Marcus even saw her move. He didn't gasp, didn't raise his voice. Just watched the navy booklet skid beneath the seat in front of him, its gold embossing catching the overhead light. The flight attendant, Bridget, her name tag read, stood in the aisle, chin lifted, hand still extended from where she'd swiped it from his tray table. "Sir, I need to see valid identification." Around them, first class went silent. The kind of silence that wasn't peace. The kind that held breath. Marcus looked at her, at the thin line of her mouth, at the way her fingers drummed against her hip, impatient, as if he were the inconvenience. "That is valid," he said quietly. "I'll be the judge of that." She bent, retrieved the passport, flipped it open. Her eyes narrowed. "This doesn't look right. It's a diplomatic passport." "Exactly." She snapped it shut. "Which is why I'm verifying it. Fraud happens." She said fraud like she'd been waiting to say it. Marcus felt the weight settle into his chest. Not anger. Something older. Heavier. He glanced past her, toward the cockpit. The door was closed. Captain Williams wouldn't emerge for another 20 minutes. Not until after takeoff. Bridget was still talking. "Protocol requires me to confirm any irregularities, and frankly, sir, your presence in first class raises questions." A woman across the aisle shifted. White hair, pearls, scandalized expression. "Is there a problem?" "Nothing that can't be resolved," Bridget said, her smile tight. "Sir, I'll need you to move to economy while we sort this out." Marcus didn't move. "My ticket is for two-way. Your ticket may say that. But until I verify this," she waved the passport, "I can't allow you to remain here." "You can't allow." "That's correct." The cabin seemed smaller now. The leather seats too close. The recycled air too thin. Marcus could feel eyes on him. Passengers pretending not to stare. A teenager filming on a phone 2 rows back. He could argue. Explain. Proof. But he'd done that before. In boardrooms and country clubs, in 100 first-class cabins, just like this one. It never mattered. So he simply said, "Call the captain." Bridget blinked. "Excuse me. Captain Williams. Ask him to come out here." Her smile turned brittle. "The captain is preparing for departure. I'm not disturbing him because you don't want to follow procedures." "Then we wait." "Sir, I'll wait." Something in his voice made her pause. Not fury, not pleading, just certainty. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "If you don't comply, I will have you removed. Security is 3 minutes away." Marcus met her gaze. "Call them," he said. 6 hours earlier, Marcus had been in Dubai for 9 days. Meetings with aviation regulators. Site visits at the new maintenance hub. Dinner with the Minister of Infrastructure, who'd spent 2 hours pitching an expansion of routes into East Africa. It had been productive, exhausting, necessary. He built Ascent Global Airlines from nothing. A single leased 737 flying regional routes across West Africa 23 years ago. Now they operated on 4 continents. Fleet of 62 aircraft. 13,000 employees. Market cap just shy of $9 billion. He'd done it quietly. No flashy interviews. No magazine covers. He left that to the executive team, the CEO, the COO, the polished faces investors wanted to see. Marcus preferred the work itself. The logistics. The people. He flew his own planes when he could. Not in the cockpit, though he had his pilot's license, but in the cabin. First class, usually. Sometimes business. Once, memorably, in economy on a Lagos to Accra flight, where he'd spent 2 hours helping a young mother with her crying infant, while the cabin crew struggled with a malfunctioning galley. No one had recognized him. That was the point. He traveled under his name, Marcus Okonkwo, but without fanfare. No security detail. No assistant running interference. Just a man in a suit with a carry-on and a passport that confused people more often than it impressed them. The diplomatic designation had come 3 years ago, after Ascent Global became the first African carrier to establish direct humanitarian routes into conflict zones. Partnerships with the UN, medical evacuations, refugee transport. The passport opened doors. And, apparently, raised suspicions. At the Dubai gate, he'd boarded early. Settled into 2A. Opened his tablet to review the quarterly financials his CFO had sent overnight. The cabin had filled slowly. A businessman in 1A who nodded politely. A couple in row 3, honeymoon, glow still fresh. The woman with the pearls, clutching a hardback novel. And Bridget. She'd worked the first-class rows with mechanical efficiency. Drinks, hot towels, luggage assistance. She paused at Marcus's seat, eyes flicking from his face to his clothes, tailored but simple, no logos, and then to the tablet in his lap. Anything to drink, sir? Water, please. She'd brought it without a word. He'd thought nothing of it, until 30 minutes later, when she'd returned, leaned over his tray table, and said, "Sir, I need to verify your travel documents." He'd handed her the passport. She'd studied it too long, flipped through pages with exaggerated care. "This is unusual. It's diplomatic. I see that." A pause. "What kind of work do you do?" The question had an edge. Marcus had kept his voice even. "I'm in aviation." "Aviation." She'd smiled. "Are you a pilot?" "No." "Engineer?" "Not exactly." Then, he could have told her. Could have ended it right there. But something in her tone, the subtle disbelief, the way she held his passport like it might be evidence, made him wait. "I consult," he'd said. Her smile had tightened. "I'll hold on to this. For verification." And she'd walked away. That was 20 minutes ago. Now, standing in the aisle, Bridget tapped her finger against the passport. "Last chance, sir." Marcus stayed seated, hands folded, expression calm. "I'm not moving." She pulled out her phone. "Security to gate 14. First class. Uncooperative passenger." The cabin erupted in whispers. The businessman in 1A shifted uncomfortably. The honeymoon couple exchanged glances, and the teenager in row 4 kept filming. Marcus closed his eyes, breathed, waited. Security arrived in 4 minutes. 2 men in crisp uniforms, radios crackling, expressions professionally neutral. The kind of neutral that wasn't neutral at all. Bridget met them at the cockpit door, voice low but carrying. Passenger in 2A, refusing to comply. Questionable documents. The taller guard glanced past her. Saw Marcus. Something flickered in his face. "Sir," he called. "We need you to come with us." Marcus didn't stand. "My documents are valid. My ticket is valid. I'm seated in my assigned seat." "Sir, the flight attendant has expressed concerns. The flight attendant is wrong." Bridget's voice sharpened. "He's been belligerent from the start." Marcus turned to her slowly. "I've said 12 words to you. Your tone has been calm." The second guard stepped forward. Younger, hand drifting toward his belt. "Sir, you need to be playing. Now." The businessman in 1A spoke up, tentative. "Is this really necessary? He's just sitting there." Bridget whirled. "Sir, I appreciate your concern, but this is a security matter. He hasn't done anything. He's refusing to cooperate." The woman with the pearls clutched her novel tighter, silent. The teenager kept filming. Marcus felt the trap closing. He'd been here before. Different airports. Different uniforms. Same script. Comply and be humiliated. Resist and be arrested. No third option. Never a third option. Unless. "Captain Williams," Marcus said quietly. "Ask him to verify my identity." The taller guard frowned. "The captain is 3 feet away behind that door. Ask him." Bridget's jaw tightened. "I already told you. You told me you wouldn't disturb him. I'm telling them to." The guards exchanged glances. "Sir, we don't have authorization to." The cockpit door opened. Captain Raymond Williams stepped out, mid-50s, graying at the temples, pilot's uniform immaculate. He took in the scene. The guards, Bridget, the watching passengers, and Marcus, still seated, hands folded, waiting. Ray's expression didn't change. "What's going on?" Bridget straightened. "Captain, I called security due to a passenger refusing to verify." "Bridget." Ray's voice was quiet. "Dangerous. Step back." She blinked. "Sir." "Step back." She did. Ray walked to Marcus's seat, looked down at him, and then, very deliberately, smiled. "Mr. Okonkwo, I didn't realize you were on this flight." The cabin went silent. Marcus met his eyes. "Ray, you should have told me you were flying with us today. I'd have come out sooner. Didn't want to bother you." "It's never a bother." Ray turned to Bridget. His smile vanished. "Give him his passport." She hesitated. "Captain, I was following protocol. You were harassing a passenger. I had legitimate concerns about." "About what?" Ray's voice dropped. "About a black man in first class with a diplomatic passport." Bridget's face went white. "That's not. I never." "You pulled his documents. Questioned their validity. Called security. For what? What did he do?" Silence. "Nothing," the businessman in 1A said quietly. "He did nothing." Ray extended his hand. "The passport, Bridget." She handed it over, fingers trembling. Ray gave it to Marcus. I apologize for this. Marcus took it, slid it into his jacket pocket. Not your fault. It happened on my plane. That makes it my fault. He turned to the guards. Gentlemen, you can go. There's no issue here. The taller guard shifted. Sir, we were told, you were told wrong. This man is a passenger in good standing. More than that, actually. Ray paused. Let the words settle. He owns this airline. The air left the cabin. Bridget made a sound. Small. Choked. The teenager's phone nearly slipped from his hand. The woman with the pearls gasped. Marcus said nothing. Ray continued, calm and relentless. Marcus Okonkwo, founder and principal shareholder of Ascent Global Airlines. The company you work for. The planes you secure. The paychecks you cash. The younger guard took a step back. Ray looked at Bridget. Anything else you'd like to verify? Her mouth opened. Closed. No sound. I'll take that as a no. Ray's voice softened, but only barely. Deplane. Now, HR will contact you when we land. Captain, please, I didn't know. You didn't ask. I was doing my job. Your job is hospitality. You failed. Tears now. Bridget's hands shook. I have 3 years with this company. I've never. This isn't fair. Fair? Ray's voice went cold. You tried to have a man removed from a seat he owns. You want to talk about fair? She looked at Marcus. Desperate. I'm sorry. I didn't. If I'd known. Marcus met her gaze. If you'd known, you would have treated me with respect, he said quietly. But you only knew what you assumed. And that was enough. She crumpled. Ray gestured to the guards. Escort her off, please. They did. Bridget didn't resist. Just walked, shoulders shaking, past the staring passengers and out of the cabin. The door closed behind her. Ray exhaled, turned to the rest of first class. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the disruption. We'll be departing shortly. Your patience is appreciated. Murmurs. Nods. The businessman gave Marcus a small, respectful nod. Ray crouched beside Marcus's seat, lowered his voice. I'm sorry, Marcus. Truly. I know. This shouldn't have happened. But it did. Ray's jaw worked. I'll file a full report. She'll be terminated. Marcus was silent for a long moment. Then don't. Ray blinked. What? Suspend her. Mandatory retraining. Bias education. But don't fire her. Marcus, she tried to. I know what she tried. Marcus looked toward the door. But ruining her life won't fix this. Teaching her might. Ray studied him. You're more forgiving than I'd be. I'm not forgiving her. I'm choosing what happens next. Ray nodded slowly. Stood. I'll make sure it's done right. Thank you. Anything else you need? Marcus almost smiled. Just a quiet flight. Ray squeezed his shoulder. You've got it. He returned to the cockpit. The cabin settled. Engines hummed to life. And Marcus Okonkwo, billionaire, founder, owner of the very sky they fly through, closed his eyes and let the weight finally lift. The flight took 6 hours. Marcus slept for most of it. Deep, dreamless sleep that came rarely but felt earned. When he woke, the cabin lights were dimmed, the other passengers dozing or reading. A new flight attendant, older, kind-faced, approached with a tray. Mr. Okonkwo? Compliments of Captain Williams. A plate of fruit, cheese, warm bread. A handwritten note. Again, my apologies. Ray Marcus thanked her quietly and ate in silence. The teenager from row 4 appeared at his elbow as they began descent. Nervous. Hesitant. Sir? I recorded what happened. Before the captain came out. Marcus looked up. The kid shifted. I wasn't going to post it or anything without asking. But I thought, maybe you'd want it? As evidence. In case I need to prove it happened. Yeah. Marcus considered. What's your name? Jamal. Where are you headed, Jamal? London. Student exchange program. Engineering. Marcus smiled. Keep the video. But don't post it. Jamal blinked. Really? What happened today doesn't need to go viral. It just needs to be learned from. But people should know. People will know. Just not from a video that turns someone's worst moment into entertainment. Marcus paused. You want to be an engineer? Yes, sir. Then focus on building things. Not tearing people down. Even when they deserve it. Jamal nodded slowly. Okay. Thank you, sir. He returned to his seat. Marcus watched him go, then turned back to the window. The lights of London spreading below, vast and glittering. They landed smoothly. Marcus deplaned last, nodding to the crew. The kind flight attendant wished him well. A gate agent recognized him and stammered a greeting. He thanked her, kept walking. No fanfare. No scene. Just a man with a carry-on heading for customs. Ray found him at baggage claim. "Marcus, got a minute?" They stepped aside, away from the crowds. "I spoke to HR," Ray said. "Bridget's suspended. 3 months, unpaid. Mandatory bias training, plus a written apology to you and a formal review before reinstatement." Marcus nodded. "Good. She'll probably quit. Maybe. Or maybe she'll learn." Ray shook his head. "You're a better man than most. I'm just tired of the alternative." They stood in silence for a moment. Then Ray said quietly, "How many times has this happened to you?" Marcus didn't answer immediately. He watched the baggage carousel turn, suitcases tumbling past, people reaching for what belonged to them. "Enough that I'm not surprised anymore," he said finally. "Not enough that I'm numb." Ray's expression darkened. "I've been flying for 30 years. I've seen it happen to passengers. Hell, I've seen it happen to pilots. Black, brown, doesn't matter. Someone always assumes we don't belong. And yet we keep showing up." "We do." Marcus's phone buzzed. A message from his assistant. "Board meeting moved to Thursday. Confirming attendance?" He typed back, "Confirmed." Ray watched him. "You ever think about going public? Not the company. You. Let people know who you are." "I do let people know. The people who matter. The world should know." Marcus looked at him. "The world doesn't need another billionaire's face on a magazine cover. It needs better systems. Better training. Better people in positions of power hold do what you did today. What I did was basic decency, which is rarer than it should be." Marcus picked up his bag. "Thank you, Ray, for everything." They shook hands. "Safe travels," Ray said. "You too." Marcus took a cab to his London flat, a modest place in Southwark he used maybe twice a year. Unlocked the door. Set down his bag. Made tea. The city hummed outside, indifferent and immense. He opened his laptop. 53 unread emails. Reports from the executive team. A proposal from the Lagos hub. A thank you note from the minister in Dubai. And one email, timestamped 2 hours ago, from an address he didn't recognize. Subject, thank you. He opened it. "Mr. Okonkwo, my name is Jamal Peters. I was on your flight today. I just wanted to say thank you for how you handled what happened. I've seen my mom treated like that. My sister. People I love. Watching you stay calm, it mattered. And what you said about building instead of tearing down, I won't forget that. I'm going to study hard. And one day, I'm going to build something that makes people's lives better, like you did. Thank you for showing me what that looks like." Jamal Marcus read it twice. Then he closed the laptop, carried his tea to the window, and looked out at the city. Somewhere below, people were landing, departing, arriving, carrying dreams and